Blog Talk Radio.
Do you do? What do you do when you don't know? Just go and ask for do-de-o-do. A Horazy will journey with you of all the places on
Ready
the
to
go. What do you do when you don't know? Just go and ask for do-de-o-do. A Horazy will journey with you of all the places others won't go.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn, live with Horazy Deliza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Ahura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. And now your host, Ahura Z.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ahura Z. You're on the air live with myself and Ask the Unicorn. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving to many and Harvest Day to some. And I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving and Harvest Day. You all have something to be thankful about. And you all deserve a good harvest. I understand that 2013 has been rather tumultuous. However, I would like to have all of you think about the things that you are thankful for and at least acknowledge the fact that you have something to be thankful for. I'm going to open the floor to questions. However, I want to introduce or have Kazi say hello to all the people.
Good evening and welcome to Ask the Unicorn.
Now, it's an interesting night tonight because there are a lot of people that are going to visit their families, and you'll hear a lot of activity just outside our studio. Just people going to and fro in their cars and in their trucks and their gigantic trucks. And, it's the most interesting thing about Maine is that whenever it begins to rain or begins to snow, I think people forget that Maine is mostly a winter-like state. The snow is fantastic around here, and so is the rain and all types of weather. If you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes and it'll change here. However, it's really interesting to watch how people go to and fro. Sometimes it's very, very not busy, but tonight is just a very busy time, and I think it's kind of exciting myself. I got to speak to someone from Nairobi, Africa earlier today and just offered some prayers of positivity for this person. But, I hope you can all reach out to someone. I'd like to have you do that. Just reach out to someone and just offer them a bit of positivity in honor of tomorrow's holiday. Now, for all of you that get to have your turkeys and get to have these gigantic celebrations, wonderful. For those of you that are spending it alone, I hope that, you can at least find comfort in listening to some of the podcasts that we have done. Maybe go out and see what people are doing and be thankful that there are people that are thankful for things. Now, this is going to bring about one question that I would like to actually direct my attention to and direct your attention to. This question came from our own studio, and the question is, I have a question about Thanksgiving. On one hand, we have a holiday where people are encouraged to be more loving and grateful and to reflect upon their lives and spend more time with their loved ones. On the other hand, the actual origins of the holiday were horrifyingly cruel and hateful. Our government declaring a massacre of 700 Pequot women, men, and children, declaring that day a day of celebration and Thanksgiving. So how is one to treat this actual day when something so awful became something so beautiful? Well, this is how you treat it. You show respect for those people that were done wrong. And if you feel it within yourself, and I know that there's some people out there that do feel this way, offer apology for the things that have been done. And you can offer apology to those spirits that may be left behind or those spirits that are waiting for an apology. You can do that. If you don't feel as though you have anything to apologize for, then be positive on this day, and this is how you'll actually repair the damage. Now, it was horrible what was done and was called Thanksgiving. Therefore, there are a lot of us that call this day Harvest Day because we get to feast and we get to have this wonderful day of harvest. Now, on the other hand, there are a lot of people out there that don't have this kind of a day, so what you can do is offer a prayer that these people have somewhere warm dry and safe to be, and that they do receive a good meal. No one should go hungry. No one should go without, and no one should go homeless. It's a very cruel thing to have happen. However, I found that around this time, people have got more and more thoughtful. They've become more and more calm, and they've become more and more loving towards each other. You know, they may spend the rest of the year in tumultuous, just arguing and everything else, but something happens around this time, and I hope that this spreads throughout the whole year from now on, is they start to really think about some of the positivity that can be shared with other people. And I'm hoping that we'll all do that this Harvest Day, this Thanksgiving. Now, there's an old saying, a lot of us were just dealt lemons, so we've had to learn to make lemonade. But in this particular case, it's a little more severe, so I'm going to say it this way. You take that day and you rearrange it. You make sure that you're not the one treating someone cruel. You make sure that you're not the one that is supporting a bad idea. You make sure that you're honoring those people that are indigenous to this country. And you make sure that they understand that you know what they've gone through, or at least you can feel and identify with what it is that they've gone through. And you show them the proper respect. Myself being Native, I've always grown with the knowledge of what actually happened. However, there are people that just don't know. So you can't really, for those of us that are Native, you can't really blame them for what was done, as long as they're trying to do something to change and acknowledge the fact that Native people were treated the way that they were, and help to make sure that that never, ever, ever happens in this country again, to make sure that many of the atrocities that have happened in this country never, ever happen again, to educate ourselves, to remember those things so that we're not caught off guard when it does happen, to stop the arguing between political teams as if, you know, they're playing football or something with all of our lives, to stand your ground, to stand up for the things that are right. And then, when you get the opportunity to come together with your family, make it peaceful. Boy, I've been to some gatherings with families, and I tell you, you didn't even know that they were actually family. You know, so what you can do to ensure that this day that may have been so atrocious in history has been changed and become something beautiful, because it's all right to call it Thanksgiving. It's all right to be thankful for those things that you have in your life, and to be thankful for people and other people that are around in case you need them. And it's also okay to be very, very thankful for those people that were here in this country before anybody else, and to give them the full respect that they deserve, and to honor them. And if you see one of them, and don't go up to them with this phony kind of, "Hi, Mr. Native man," you know, just acknowledge them and look at them and thank them if you can. Thank them and say, you know, without you, there wouldn't even be an America. And this is the truth. So that's how you think about it. You think as positive as you possibly can, acknowledging that there were some things done that were not entirely positive or not even close to positive. Make things positive now, and be strong and be smart. Use your common sense. For those of you that accept things such as racism or sexism or any of those kind of things, take it out of your consciousness. You have an opportunity here. Be thankful for the fact that you are not alone on this planet, and that because we are all so diverse, that makes us very versatile. Realize that and honor it. This is a thankful time. Be thankful. Be thankful for your life. Be thankful for your family's life. Be thankful for the fact that you have a place to be and go. And be thankful for the fact that you can help others, because they may help you. All right. That's what I think about that particular thing. And now to just kind of shift gears a little bit. I personally am an avid turkey eater, you know, and I'm an avid food eater. I hope you all get to eat something tomorrow. And, you know, if you have extra or you have something that can be donated to an association that feeds people, please support them, help them. because it's kind of hard what they do. Help them out. If you have extra, go donate something. You know, and for those of you that have nobody to be around, you have no one that you can call your family, make your family the world. Go help out at one of the soup kitchens or at one of the places that help those people that are less fortunate than yourself. All right, now what we're going to do is get right to some questions here. I do appreciate you all being patient with my banter, but I have a tendency to do that. So, Kazi, what do we have tonight?
We have a question from Arlisha Valentine on our online chat room. And she asks, can you tell me what the skull and crossbones mean? Can you tell me if my chakras are open or blocked? 2 questions, sorry.
Well, the skull and crossbones is very involved. That's usually because of some society that has been ancient. What they have done is they've created a symbolism. Sometimes the skull and crossbone is used to cause people great fear, and other times it's to cause people caution. There are a lot of people that have used it, and everyone from secret societies that aren't so secret, and people who think that they're pirates. There's another faction that believes that the skull and crossbone leads to a secret lineage of Christ, or at least plays a part in it. There are political societies, or colleges, if you will, that actually use that particular symbol. And it's kind of like a fraternity. But, the basic skull and crossbones usually always has something to do with the hereafter or death, or something that leads to that particular thing. It's used to cause caution and fear. But many people use it for different things. There are some that just think it's really, really cool, and, I should go to Hot Topic and get myself a new skull and crossbones. But, that's just their taste. And the second question was what?
Can you tell me if my chakras are open or blocked?
Well, I have to actually see your chakras to see whether or not they're open or blocked. If you're experiencing some discomfort or pain someplace or some tension someplace, it's a pretty good indicator that there's something off with your chakras. But understand, you have to know what chakra means. Now, to me, a chakra, to call something a chakra is to say that I understand exactly what that word means. I understand the 7 circuits, or those energy centers that are basic within all of us humans and all of us creatures of Earth, to be 7 basic batteries or circuits or energy centers. Yes, I could use the word chakra, and I have from time to time, but I think that if you really want to get a better grasp on them, you should start in the actual culture that you're akin to, and then move on to words like chakras, and to think about whether they're open or not. Listen, if your chakra was completely closed, you wouldn't be alive. How about that? So obviously they're open, but you may have a little bit of blockage from here or from time to time, or maybe they're not functioning properly. Sometimes they can go out of alignment, and you usually find a person that can deal with that, or deal with your etheric body like myself, and help you to get them back into alignment, or to take away those things that are blocking them. However, make sure that that particular person is very positive and they have your best interest at heart. Okay? I hope that helps you. Good questions. Okay, what have you got for me next?
The next question is from Tony, and he asks, where we all have our journey and where we are all in it together, one would assume it would be beneficial to love people. That has never been easy for me. What is a good way to find that benevolent love and acceptance that spiritual masters always seem to have for everyone?
Well, I think if you take it out of what you view as personal, because personally we can all pick each other apart because none of us are perfect. At the same time, there are some people that are very difficult to love. I hope I'm saying that right. They're very difficult to love, and at the same time, we all need love. But first you have to be clear on what love is, okay, because there are different types of love. There's the spiritual love, there's a whole love, there's the romantic love, there's the love that's sometimes there and sometimes not, and we like to call that conditional, then there is unconditional love, which not one single human on the face of this earth has an idea what is, because we really don't understand unconditional. Everything that we do is conditional. It doesn't matter what that is. We're conditional with what we like to eat. We're conditional with where we like to sleep. We're conditional with who we want to talk to or not talk to. So we're all in this massive evolutionary pond, and we're all trying to be the big fish in the pond, even against our will. But you know something? It just comes down to if you can just accept everybody for what they are. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to like them. You don't have to dislike them. You don't have to associate with them. But if you can just accept that they are another human being that's dealing with life the same way as you are, and they may not be so good at it, or they may be good at it. Just think about this. Most of the mystics that you're talking about understand this. They understand that before you can do anything, you have to accept. Acceptance will get you to belief. It will get you to dealing with people, and then you'll understand knowledge. And then with knowledge comes wisdom, because you've had enough time to use that knowledge in a good way, and then understand that knowledge that you're able to use. So think about it this way. You can meet millions and millions of millions of people, and you'll go through this whole spectrum. You'll like them or you'll dislike them. You'll look at them and say, hey, that person's really cool. And then you'll look at them and say, oh, my God, that person's really stupid. And you'll want to associate with them or you won't want to associate with them. But when it comes down to it, you always are faced with this one gigantic mirror that causes you to look inside yourself and say, well, am I that great to be around? Because if I'm seeing all of this, that means that there must be something out there, some bit, even if it's just a salt shaker worth of it, that I don't like in that person that could be in me. So perhaps what I need to do is deal with myself first. And sometimes that can lead people to just be alone for a while until they do understand people. I, myself, happen to love people. I mean, I have a great amount of patience, and, I dare say that I surpassed my teacher in patience. However, I can't always tolerate them. We like to key on tolerance, but tolerance is just an after effect. You have to deal with patience. Patience that is not just sitting still. Patience that is being active in your own development and in your own evolution so that you can deal with people on an equal basis. Remember, we are all in a state of perfection. And, there are people that say, well, nobody's perfect, but I dare say that we are in a state of perfection. We've reached one state of perfection, and now we're on to the next and the next and the next and the next. So the best way to deal with this, Tony, is to just think about this. There are things that that you need to do in your life. If you get about that, it doesn't really matter if you want to love anybody. Because truthfully speaking, and I'm thinking you're about 24 or 25, the truth is, you really don't know what that is. I mean, there are some things that you think that you love, but they're usually just a emotional reaction or a sensation. What you have to get to is the real core of things, and that will come with wisdom and will also come with the knowledge of how to use that particular wisdom. Just give yourself a break. Learn to love yourself first. If you can show yourself love, and this is really uncomfortable for men because most of us, I don't care what type of man we are, when we think about loving ourselves, we go, but that's not what I was taught. Nobody teaches me to love myself. They teach me, hey, to say to somebody, I love you. So we wind up growing up in these situations where we're like 18 or 19 or 20 and we're gazing into some girl's eyes because she's really, really pretty at saying, oh, honey, I wish there was nobody in the world but you and me. And then it winds up being disastrous because we really don't know what we're saying. And neither does that girl, So we have to kind of redefine or think about what it is when we say that we're supposed to love everybody. Maybe we're just supposed to accept everybody for what they are and who they are. And maybe we're supposed to deal with each other as another part of ourselves, that can show us what is on the inside of us. And maybe be there in case we are discovering some part of us. And maybe they'll accept us enough to let us deal with those things that we're just learning about ourselves. So when it comes to love, think about what type of love you're talking about. It's really interesting because when I was a child, I would go to these my Christian camps, and I had a lot of fun there, depending on the situation, and they always use this term, then this term became some kind of law, and it was, you have to know what agape love is. And truthfully speaking, when I heard the word agape, this is what I thought. All I ever saw was this huge guppy, okay? Because for some odd reason I would associate agape with guppy, and I had no clue as to what that actually meant. Okay, I know the definitions. Okay, you have to have the perfect love in Christ and in God and so forth and so forth. But that didn't mean anything to me. All it meant was there's a type of love that I really don't get, and I was having enough trouble just liking myself. So what you might think to do is just to accept life, accept yourself. Understand that there's some nutsy cuckoo people out there, and you know what? They will look at you and call you nutsy cuckoo too. So the best thing that we can do is just accept each other, and then we can move on. Then we can begin to discover what love actually is. Remember, the type of love that we understand as human beings is always going to be conditional. We only use that word like a billy club against each other's unconditional, because nobody really knows what it means. Nobody's really experienced it. Not really. Not in this day and age. Everything has a condition. But what you can do is learn it, not thinking about it. As, these books that I used to read, there were the Carlos Castaneda books. Don Juan would say there's doing and then there's not doing. And, you can't just do love. Sometimes it has to be not done. And it just realizes itself within you. And I think that that's what's going to happen with you. So just deal with people. Respect them for who they are. Nobody has to earn your respect. They're living and breathing. And you figure if divinity allowed them to live and breathe and had enough respect for them to let them live and breathe, who are you? You're living and breathing too. This is all one world. We are all one. Take that attitude and it will lead you to what you're looking for. All right, I hope that helps. Now, I'm going to go to the phone lines, but first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song. And I have lots of these wonderful songs. But I'm going to kind of pick things up a little bit. One of the songs that I actually like is more of a music type of a song, and it's called Firewalk. So I hope you all enjoy this, and I'll be right back with you, and we'll go to the phone lines. You're on the air live with Ahura Z. Okay, that was Firewalk by Uhura Z. If you like this music and any of the other music that you hear on this show, you can go to Unicorn One Records, that's www.unicornonerecords.com, and order this music and download it. We have a lot of music that we'll be playing on this show, and we enjoy making the music, we enjoy playing it on this show, and we enjoy our radio show. Okay, now, I said I was going to go to the phone lines, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Elise into the studio. Hello, Elise. How are you?
Oh, hi. I'm doing okay. I really like that music. It's really amazing. It has such a high spiritual atmosphere in it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very, very much. What can I do for you this evening?
Okay, well, I was wondering, how can somebody astral project into someone else's house and steal something? Recently, I was getting ready for a craft fair, and I made a lot of handmade cards and there was about 20 packages of them. And I showed a sample of it to a friend of mine who, well, not really a friend, but a person who ordered artwork from me. And then I gave her a pack as a sample, but the next day, when I woke up in the morning, I realized that all of the cards that I had made were taken from this Rubbermaid container that was in my art studio, and when I picked it up, I realized that she had astral projected into my apartment and stole them, and I was wondering, how can somebody do that? And, like, what kind of base did I make for her to do that, and how to prevent her from doing that next time?
Okay, there are people that can astrally project. There are some laws that have to be followed. Basically, these are the laws of physics. What I might urge you to do, because if there's a person that could actually perform that particular thing, that would have to be dealt with, and that would be a very, very powerful person. But I don't detect that this person is actually that powerful. So how about if I say this? Would you do me a favor and just look that maybe you may have misplaced them first? I want you to exhaust every single other physical possibility before we jump into the
Actually, I did look everywhere, and there was just nowhere. And she had also like I have this light box that I use for tracing. And I always keep it on top of my desk. It wasn't on top of my desk. It was placed inside of the Rubbermaid container. Where all the cards were. So, and I never do that.
Has this person actually been to your house?
She came over like a few times.
Okay, then it's more likely that she lifted them when she was there, if that's the case.
No, the last time she was here was about 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm sorry.
I believe you. I believe you. I just want to exercise every single possibility. Okay? I want you to exercise every single physical possibility. I mean, when did you send her the painting?
You mean, when did she come and take those cards out, or?
No, you said that you had sent her some paint. You had sent her a painting.
No, she has a health food store around the corner, and I delivered it there.
Okay. Do you think do you think there's a possibility that you might have also taken the cards there accidentally?
No, I wouldn't have done that. No, it was a whole big bag of them, 20 packs of cards. It was like 100 cards. Okay.
Well, if this particular person has that type of an ability, then it needs to be shut down. If I were you, I would not. I would cut all communication with this person. I would cut all communication with this person. If I were you. If they have that particular type of power, then all you really have to do is cut the communication, reseal your house the way that I've taught you and Tal to do, and then you'll be fine. But that's a pretty dangerous thing for someone to be able to do.
Oh, okay.
Taking into consideration that she may have had help from, taken into consideration that she may have had help from something or someone else.
Yeah, I think she might have. Yeah.
So if a person actually has that particular type of an ability, because even astrally, I don't condone astral projection at all. Okay? It's a very dangerous thing, and you can get stuck outside your body or bring something back in with your body and have to deal with it. But if there's a person that is that concentrated, then obviously there is a conduit between that person and you that has to do with the paintings or the cards. And if they can't actually lift something from your home that's in this physical dimension, then that's really a force to be reckoned with. However, I still want you to go through every single physical attribute that you possibly can. I want you to look in places that you would not normally look for them. I want you to think about the facts that maybe there are some other possibilities of things that have happened to those cards, okay?
Okay.
I want you to do that, even if it's just an exercise of what you are thinking about and wanting to do, okay? And I'll talk to you at length about this later, okay? Because you and I do speak. Okay. So we'll talk and we'll see we'll get to the bottom of it, okay?
All right. Thanks a lot.
No problem. I hope that helps you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, it does.
Good.
Have a good thing.
You too.
Thanks.
Okay. Good night. All right. Now, if you do have problems with astral projection, or you have people that, if you yourself are experiencing involuntary astral projection, or there's some other things like that, what I want you to do is I want you to get in touch with me any way that you can, and I'll help you reach some answers. Now, you can get in touch with me several different ways, and I usually make these announcements at the end of the show, but I'm going to do this just because of the question that was just asked, or the situation that was just dealt with. You can reach me at Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics. That's www.unicorn-cove.com. And also Unicorn Rangers. And Unicorn Rangers is the psychic self-defense organization, and the psychic police organization that I run, and that could be www.unicornrangers.org. And those are for people that are experiencing something of a paranormal nature that you can't or are not willing to deal with. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to the question board and see what we have here. Okay, what do you have for me?
On the continuation of astral projection, is there ever a way to do astral projection safely?
No. There's never a way to do astral projection safely. I don't care what you've seen on YouTube, and I don't really care what other people have said. I've had to deal with people that were very much into astral projection, trying to receive answers. And you have to understand, the astral realm is not built for us to be on while we're in this physical body. Now, you can use other modes of meditation to receive the answers that you are looking for. However, when you're dealing with the astral realm, you have to use your own astral fuel in order to be there, and that's not a good thing. And there are beings that are out in that astral realm that will lure you out to the deepest part of the astral realm where you no longer have the ability to swim. And then they will laugh at you and make a deal with you, and that deal may be that they can cohabitate with you in your body. And then you have to call someone like myself, and I have to deal with them. It's not a very pleasant thing to have to deal with. So I'm going to give you all this advice. Stay in your bodies, please. You are in these bodies for a reason. You can evolve fully aware of yourself and in your body. You do not have to leave your body in order to evolve. And I really don't care what anyone thinks about it. That is not a good way to deal with things. Okay? You can unground yourself totally. You can cause a disassociation with even your own body. And you know something? That can't have any other effect but bad. Now, at first it might feel all cool. You'll say, oh, I'm all light and I'm airy and, you know, I can fly around and, you know, I looked down and saw my body. And you know what? That should freak you out. You know? Now look, on part of my own evolutionary growth was to understand the nature of the astral realm. I understand the astral realm. It is for those beings that are there, they need to learn the lessons that they need to learn. And you know, when you go in there to interfere with whatever lessons that they are learned, you are basically trespassing into a realm that you do not belong in. The best thing for you is to stay in this particular physical realm so that you can grow. And you know, there are different techniques. There's soul travel, there's retrieval, there's, you know, types of meditation where you do not lose the awareness of your body. And at the same time, you can go anywhere that you want to. Again, if you need help in these areas, I do train people on a daily basis. Okay, and if you need to learn these techniques, I'll be more than happy to help you. And there are other teachers that will also be more than happy to help you. And I'm sure that they will be very, very pleased if you tell them I have given up astral travel. Basically, astral traveling is worse than smoking for you. Okay, I'll put it that way. You know, so for all of you out there that are listening and you have friends who say, oh, astral travel is great and it's very safe, these people have absolutely no clue of the dangers that are actually waiting for them. And then they come and tell me that, you know, I like astral traveling, I know that it's safe and I believe in it, but lately I've been having sleep paralysis. Well, guess why? Okay? It's a pretty simple equation there. Oh, you like astral traveling. You're suffering what they call sleep paralysis. Interesting. Perhaps you should stop astral traveling. It's kind of like if you're taking drugs, unprescribed drugs, and you're banging your head against the wall because you think that it's going to alleviate the pain on the inside of your head. A clue might be, you know, like maybe stop taking the unprescribed drugs. Maybe clear your head up, and then you'll understand what you're doing. You know, so I look at it that way. I take a pretty hard line on astral travel. You know, if you're talking about soul travel, that's different. You never lose the awareness of your body. You're always very conscious of what you're doing. And at the same time, you actually go where you need to go and do what you need to go to do and receive the answers that you need to receive. So that's what I think about it. There is no safe way. Okay, hope that helps. What have you got next?
What are some ways that a person can stay in their bodies?
Well, exercise is one way to stay grounded, is what you're looking for. Making sure that your diet is good, making sure that you are doing those things that you need to do during the day, and try not to get so stressed, because sometimes you'll pop out just because you're so stressed, you know, just because you've got so much tension. You know, and, you know, I found that to be the occasion when I was younger. That would happen almost involuntarily. You know, of course, we all look for escape routes, but now they've got video games, so you don't have to do that. But the bottom line is this. As long as you're taking care of yourself in the way that you need to take care of yourself, you're at work, you're doing your job, you're not being distracted, even if you have a bad day, at least you can say, hey, you know, I'm doing my job. You know, trying not to get into unnecessary arguments and trying not to butt your nose into places where it doesn't belong. You know, just trying to be a good human being, you know, trying to be a good spiritual being. You know, you have some spiritual exercises that you can do throughout your day and throughout your week. Making sure your diet is good, making sure you're getting enough rest, making sure that you're drinking enough water, making sure that you're taking care of those things that need to be taken care of. That is one of the ways to stay within your body. Okay? Now, there are some sleep techniques that will help you. If you realize that you sleep a certain way, and every time you sleep that certain way, you kind of pop out of your body, change your position. It may be a little uncomfortable at first, but you'll get used to it. Remember, the human body and the human brain is a mechanism. It is designed for rote memorization and repetition. You'll teach it something new, and then you'll find a way to ground yourself. But please, make sure that you've had enough to eat. That's one way that people lose their grounding a lot. You know, I think that vegetarians have a harder task than the rest of us because, you know, they don't get the kind of protein or the meat protein that actually helps them to stay grounded. And whatever political posture that people have on eating meat, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those people that are actually vegetarians, that are really vegetarians. You know, they can't really deal with the meat, you know, on just a physical level, you know. They have a hard task, and I've met some vegetarians in my life, and these were real vegetarians, you know, and they just could not eat it, you know, so they have a hard task, so they find different things that will ground them as well. As long as you have enough protein, as long as you have enough iron, as long as you have enough of the things that are going to keep you healthy, you should be fine. Just try not to overdo the workouts. Try not to have only one way of thinking. You know, you do a dogmatic spiritual discipline every single day and there's nothing else. Well, that's another way to lose your grounding because you'll be off balance. Try to find a good and balanced way to do things. And that's how you stay in your body. Okay? So I hope that helps you. For those of you that would like to actually call in and ask a question, because I do like talking to people, The number here is 718-664-9638. That is 718-664-9638. I'll be happy to answer your questions. And you can actually, talk on the air live and talk to me, and then I get to talk to a person. And that's anyone can call in and ask a question. So tell your friends as well. All right, what do you got for me?
Next question is from the Memfesh in our chat room. You said that a physical object could be used against you. I'm worried that an alien not only took a crystal from me, but also an embroidered picture of a green dragon I made that had hematite beads on it. Do I need to get that back?
No. Just leave it. You can sever the energy to anything. Just separate your energy. And then start something new. Just let it go. This is one of the things that traps people a lot, even when in personal relationships with people. They will try to go back and get something that belonged to them, and they call that closure. It's usually just a passive-aggressive way to see if that person really, wants to be done with them, or can they rekindle something. But, when a person has something that belongs to you, you have to ask yourself whether or not you really do want it back. Maybe it's been tainted now because of their energy. That doesn't mean if someone steals your car, you're supposed to let them have it. No, that's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is sometimes there are things that can just be let go. You just let them go. You sever them. And you say, okay, I'm done with that particular person. I'm done with that particular object. Now I need to move on. Besides, you're capable of getting another painting. You're also capable of getting another crystal. It is not the only crystal or painting that's in the universe. However, if you have something that's worth a lot of money, my suggestion is for you to try to get it back legally, of course. Otherwise, you'll just create a bigger mess. So I hope that helps you. What's next?
This next question is from Arlisha Valentine in our chat room, and she asks, my son has a question about balancing his light and dark nature. Is there ever a time when we should be all light?
Well, we all possess the capability to be light and dark. You just have to move forward. One of the things that helped me early on is that my teacher would say, if you take the best of both sides of your thought and you bring the right to the middle, you'll have logic. So the best thing for you to do is act logically, or to think logically. And logic is usually devoid of an emotional reaction. You just have to really think about what it is that you're saying or doing. Now, there are a lot of people we all have a light and dark nature. That's no different. That doesn't create a person that is any different from anyone else. And you always have to balance that. And so the best way is what I just talked to you about, is about logic. The other thing is to ask yourself, are you doing what it takes for you to live a peaceful life? And if you're not doing what it is that it takes to live a peaceful life, ask yourself why. Why? There's some people that take great pride in being dark or being light, and no one really has a clue. We have a little bit of hints from there and there, but the bottom line is, listen, light or dark, the principles are the same. The nature of each is different. However, the principles are all the same. You still have to make decisions. You still have to use the common sense of that particular attribute. You still have to do certain things. You still have to think a certain way. So if you want to balance them, choose the one that is going to get you ahead, the one that is going to actually lead you on a path, not the one that just sounds cool, or the one that doesn't sound cool, or the one that, there are people that sit up and say, I am a total light being and I'm going to ignore the fact that there is any darkness anywhere. And that's just foolish. The same with those that are, I'm going to be dark and I'm going to hate light. That's ridiculous, okay? The bottom line is this, we're human beings. Okay, even if there are some of us that have star child ability, and there are some of us that are our origin, and I mean origin through many generations and many ancestors have come to this planet by another means. Okay, and even those that are fresh on this planet. Listen, we all have a light and dark nature. We all must do the things that it takes in order for us to grow and evolve and survive. You have to make decisions. One side of our nature is not better than the other side. Remember, we have a left and right hand. There may be dominances and there may be recessives, but the bottom line is they are all inside you. Inside you. They are not outside of you. So do the things that it's going to take in order for you to live. And if you're living, try to make your life positive. Is there a time that we are all light? I think I'm working towards that. So, I can't really tell you other than what I've seen. I can see that there are beings that are pure light. And I can see that there are beings that are pure darkness. And guess what? Neither of those beings that are pure light and pure darkness have a body. You have a body. You can choose to be dark-natured or light-natured, but you're always going to have to do something that will further you along in your path. So, as long as you're in this human body, no, you will neither be all dark or all light. And I'm sorry for all you people that really think that you're cool to say that you're all light or say that you're all dark. You're not. You have a struggle, just like the rest of us. Even myself. I mean, I've had to do some things in my life that I wasn't proud of. However, I've had to do some things that I was proud of. And you know something? I have to make these decisions every single day, and I do my best. And sometimes I don't even know what my best is until I've done it. So, it is a path. So tell your son, your brother, that it's okay. All he really has to do is accept himself and move on. You'll always have a deal in balancing your light and dark natures. Just try to stay on the rope. Try to stay on that little razor's edge and move forward. Don't stop to look at either one of them. Just move forward to your best goals. I hope that helps you. Okay, what do we got?
Is everyone assigned to an angel? If so, is there a way to communicate and consciously work with the angel that we are assigned?
Okay, how about we put it this way? There are angels that are assigned to everyone. And, they're very easy to communicate with. Usually they're your first thought when you get ready to do something, and all you really have to do is listen. Listen and do those things that are right in front of you to do. Listen, there are a lot of mystical answers that I can give you, but I'm going to give you the honest one. The honest one is simply this. One of the best things that you can do, one of the best spiritual exercises that you can do is understand that you're living a reality. And in that reality, there is something that is the most magical gift you can have, and that is common sense. Okay? And believe you me, angels use a great deal of logic and common sense. And usually they will give you that common sense answer to what it is that you're about to do next. So you're always in communication with them. They're always in communication with you. You just have to be willing to be open to that communication. You don't own them. Being assigned to you doesn't mean that they have to do what you tell them to do. And for those of you that believe, honestly, that you'll be able to judge the angels, that's a crock. Okay? They were sent to help you. And they do their best. So you should do your best in kind. At least try. And, if you're trying and you're talking to them and you're letting them know, if I can help you out in any way, shape, or form, let me know. But I really need your help. Could you help me through what I'm going through? Could you help me make things better? Just trust that they will, or they are. It's that simple. Listen to what's going on. Listen. Voices are all around you. Sometimes their job is not so easy either. They may be on a different plane. But we're a handful, if you think about it. We're really a handful. Okay, think about it. We don't even know what we want half of the time. Okay? And then, someone says, well, you get what you need, and that person hasn't got a clue what they're talking about because they don't know what you need, because you barely know what you need. They like to tell you what you need, but they really don't know because they don't know what their needs are. So listen to those. I like to call my angels my people, okay? Because they give me the answers that I need at the moment that I need them. And, the information that I get is the information that I need at that particular moment. So as a matter of fact, that word angel is a little iffy, so you can use whatever words you want to use in order to express who they are. There are those of you that like to get all lofty about it and call them the shining ones. But you just accept them for what they are and understand that you're a handful and their job is not easy. And you know what? When you do that, perhaps you will actually get to see them and hear them clearly. So that's one way. I hope that helps you. All right, I'm going to take a short break just to give you all some information. And I will be back momentarily. You're on the air live with Ahura Z. This is Ask the Unicorn.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn with Ahura Z. DeLiza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Ahura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. If you have an issue you'd like to discuss with Ahura in more detail, he offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. Ahura also teaches private classes online using Skype video. For more information, visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics at www.unicorn-cove.com. And now back to Ask the Unicorn.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, if you'd like to call in and talk to me, the number here is 718-664-9638. I will be more than happy to answer any of your questions that you have. Okay, let's go back to our questions and see what we've got.
I have a question about tithing. It has recently been brought to my attention that the concept of tithing can be a spiritual practice that can improve one's own prosperity. How does that work?
Okay. First off, the discipline of tithing is a spiritual practice and has been for many, 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 many centuries. What it does is it helps you to acknowledge that divinity has provided for you what they provided, and you take a tenth of that gain and you put it in a place that you think deserves it. In other words, you put it to a place that is actually promoting spiritual worth and spiritual growth. Many people do it for churches. There are those that do it for nonprofits. There are those that do it for different charities and associations. And sometimes you can actually take your 10% and give it to someone that you think actually needs it, and that's just as valid. Now, the reason for the tithing is so that there's always money in the house of God. In other words, for God's people. Now, God's house is this world. So we'll look at it this way. We'll say that there's always meat in the storehouse for God's people, and that's actually written in the Bible. I'm paraphrasing. But you give those tithes so that there may be meat in the storehouse of God for the people that actually need it. Unfortunately, the character of many of the people that get that money is not so great. So you're going to have to take it upon yourself as to where you want to tithe. Is there a place that has actually been beneficial to your spiritual growth and your evolution? Is there a place that you admire, or a place that is doing something in the service of people to help them along their path on this earth? And you can tithe to that person. Now, it's not a time to be stingy, because basically a lot of us are stingy. Rich people get rich by being stingy. And us poor people or common people just, we have what we have and we try to hold on to it, but we never really exercise that particular principle. But that's a principle that I've told you people before, that when you give something, you get something in return. That's just a universal principle. That's the way that it goes. It's the mechanism that runs this particular planet, So if you take, whatever you got, and you take 10% of that, and you give it to the place that you think is beneficial to humankind, that has, been beneficial to you, but you're not really, it doesn't really matter how beneficial it's been to you. If it has been beneficial to you, wonderful. You give to these people because they need to exist, and they need to actually have these donations made, or they need to actually have meat in their storehouse so that they can keep providing the services that they've been providing, then you tithe to that place. It doesn't always have to be a church. You know, I know a lot of us have this thing where, you know, I can't really give it to you because I have to give my tithes to the church, and that, you know, you're missing the point when you do that. You know, God's church is this world. I mean, Jesus himself said, you know, hey, you know, I exist on this world. And again, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not just in the church. You know, you really have to think about that. Yeah, I've seen lavish, rich churches, and all surrounding those churches, there's poverty. And that's not supposed to happen. You know, so, and there are all of these nonprofits, and, you know, nonprofits are very, very good. Okay, they're very, very good if they're doing their job. But there are a lot of the charities where the people that actually need the charity don't get to see a cent of it. You know, so you really need to re-examine when you decide, hey, I'm going to go and give to this charity because I know that I'm giving to a charity. What about the people that go to the charity and the charity refuses help to them? Did you ever think about that? There are a lot of them. I mean, there's a place here that there was this one farmer's market that was here, and it was in Portland, and it's not there where it was. It was a beautiful place for it to be, and it got shut out because someone wanted to buy the frickin' building. You know, that's just obscene. You know, this is places that people really love going, and, you know, they get used to going, and all of a sudden the building is bought right up from them. You know, I once watched a group of artists be kicked out of their place. You know, and I mean not just 2 or 3 artists. I'm talking about 30 or 40 artists. They kicked out of the building that they were because someone wanted to come and buy the building and turn it into condos. You would think that there would be a foundation for that. Or maybe the people that really wanted to tithe, these wonderful people that are creating such magnificent art and providing them with things to appreciate, would have been tithed to, instead of some association. Hey, I really want to keep this building for you. You know, or we really love your art. We love the fact that you bring this particular beauty to our city. You know, maybe we should do something to help you all. You know, I made $40 million. I'll give you 10% of that. That's my tithe. You know, or I made $100. I'll give you $10 of it. I know it's not much, but you know what? Let's just hope for it. Instead of going to something like Salvation Army, which makes hand over fist money, Goodwill, other places. What about the people that are out walking the streets that have no place to go? You're going to tell me that you want to take it over to this really posh-looking church instead of saying, hey, I need to make my tithe. You look like you could use it. You know? So, yeah, you can bring it to where it's supposed to be, which is to make sure that the whole world prospers. And then you're really tithing. And yes, it will be given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. As, you know, I've read it to be, and I used to listen to one pastor a long time ago that would say that constantly. You know, and, you know, yeah, I have to say, he was right. You know, just like a lot of people that are spiritual teachers that have done these wonderful things for people are right. And so sometimes you need to listen to them. I may not agree with everything that there is in that Bible, but you know what? I do understand that it does have some truth, just like every other sacred book that has been written on this earth. We all have some truth to us, and all we have to do is use it. So tithe. It will help you. You just have to trust. Well, not really trust. You just have to have confidence in spiritual principle. How about that? Okay, I hope that helps you. All right, what have you got for me?
Next question comes from our chat room. Do you think the Vatican has special libraries or books on the supernatural?
Of course.
If they do, why are they withholding this information?
Everybody wants to just say, well, you think about it this way. Let's see, Bill Gates is worth about, what, $40 billion, something like that? You know, a whole lot of money. Why does he hold on to it? Well, Catholicism or the Vatican sees it the same way. They have a lot of knowledge. If everybody knew the knowledge, there would really be no need for the Vatican now, would it? You know, so that's the way that I think about it. I mean, of course they have texts on sorcery and tests on ancient mysticism and so forth. But a lot of it gets leaked out anyway. This is the thing about the truth and mysticism. It's a really funny truth. You can't hold it back from people, because there are people like myself that have access to it, even if I'm not looking at the book. There are other people that know way more than I do, that have access to all of these things that are written in the very air. But they have these tomes. Yes, you're right. They have a lot of secrets, and whatever they say, I don't believe them. As far as, well, we really don't have this and this doesn't exist, I don't believe them at all, because I know that they do. Okay, so that doesn't make them criminals. Well, people have different schools of thought on that, but it just means that they have a lot of secrets that we would like access to. And there comes a point in time when you develop enough that you have access. You may not get it word for word the way that they've written it, or word for word the way that it was put down, but you will get the energy and the information and the general gist of it. You just have to keep going. And perhaps at some point in time, I hear this particular newest pope is pretty cool. Has done some pretty cool things. Maybe he'll say, we're going to open the library. It's time. And that would be awesome. So maybe we should just hope for that and kind of think it at him. Okay. So that's a lot of things they have. Yes.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn with Ahura Z. DeLiza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Ahura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. If you have an issue you'd like to discuss with Ahura in more detail, he offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. Ahura also teaches private classes online using Skype video. For more information, visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics at www.unicorn-cove.com. And now back to Ask the Unicorn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing a little difficulty with, I'm not sure if it's the weather or just some technical things, but I apologize for the interference. We are back now. I hope you enjoyed the song. That was Admonition by Pisces Project. And we're going to go back to answer some more questions for you all. And what do you got?
Next question is from Arlisha Valentine in our chat room, and she asks, I followed your advice on burning the white candle along with the brown for a new home. I now keep seeing a home that I looked at during my first house hunting trip. Is this a sign that my prayers are being answered?
I think you can answer that yourself. That's obvious. Yes, it is a sign that you're being answered, and I would like to congratulate you because I know that that's actually going to happen for you on a physical level. It may take a little bit of time, but you'll get what it is that you're asking for. Just keep your faith and keep moving, okay? Keep your faith, keep your confidence, keep moving on what it is that you want, and don't accept no for an answer. All right, I hope that helps you. Let's see, what have we got next? Remember, you can also call in. You can call 718-664-9638. That's 718-664-9638. Okay? I love talking to people, and it would be great to actually speak to someone. What have you got for me next?
A couple of episodes ago, you spoke about holy water and that you and your prayer warriors created. Can you talk more about what a prayer warrior is? What do they do exactly?
Well, it's kind of self-explanatory. They pray. They pray in intercession for you. In other words, what they do is pray about your situation, and they actually stand there. It's like standing in between you and the trouble. And because of the power of prayer and the fact that they have a wonderful relationship with the Holy Spirit, they can ask for things to be done for you on your behalf, and those things will get done. Now, a prayer warrior serves many functions. They actually make it better for a person like myself that goes in to do an exorcism. It's almost as though I'm covered by a umbrella of prayer or a shield of prayer so that I can do the things that I need to do. And other exorcists are like this as well. But a prayer warrior's job is to stand when no one else can, to stand in prayer when no one else can. And sometimes that may call for 24-hour prayer. Sometimes that may call for constant prayer about a situation or about a person. They don't question their own faith. You know, they're not those that are privy to superfluous.
You've been listening to Ask the Unicorn with Ahura Z. Deliza. If you have a personal matter you need help with, Ahura offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. He also teaches private classes in an array of subjects online using Skype video. Visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics for more information at www.unicorn-cove.com. If you have a question for Ahura to answer on a future episode of Ask the Unicorn, you can email it to questions@asktheunicorn.com and we'll add it to the list for our next show. Ask the Unicorn broadcasts live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio. Visit our website for more information and to hear archived episodes of our show at www.asktheunicorn.com.
When you don't know, just go and ask for Do-de-o-do. Ahura Z will journey with you to all the places others
Ready to
won't
see
go.
today.
What do you do when you don't know? Just go and ask for Do-de-o-do. Ahura Z will journey with you to all the places others won't go.